Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our last upper bracket quarter-final. Tomorrow, we will be starting on our lower bracket round 11 games. But first, we have this last quarter-final here in the Marvel Rivals Championship, Season 0, Doom's Rise. And we are here in North America on console. On the left of Ben and T'Challa, we have In and Out. And on the right, we have Tezeta. Starting off, we see Star-Lord and Hela getting taken out here in the bans. Magic and Doctor Strange will be protected. This leaves us open for Hulk Iron Man play. Is that a path that these teams want to go down? Loser of this matchup will be heading down to that lower bracket round 11 like we've already said, playing against Frenzy Flame, a team that we have already seen perform very, very nicely up to this point. So, we see the Lunar Snow taken out of action, as is Hawkeye. So yeah, Hulk and Iron Man all left available if that is something that the teams want to go down the path of. Interesting. In and Out currently hovering the Jeff and locking in the Rocket Raccoon. Now we do see a little bit more of a lean when it comes to characters like the Rocket, Punisher and the Penny Parker when it comes to the console games. Magic is also favored ever so slightly more when it comes to the console, and we are seeing a bit of a hover when it comes to that. So, let's introduce our players and see who comes out on top. On the left-hand side, in the blue trunks of Ben and T'Challa, it is In and Out with Kian. Going to be playing that Cloak and Dagger. Charisma, my favorite D&D stat, is going to be playing the Doctor Strange. Michael Bowling is going to be... Michael Bowling? I think it's Michael Bowling. I don't really know how to spell bowling. Once again, my education system has failed me. Michael Bowling will be playing the Incredible Hulk. Scatter is on the Rocket Raccoon. Energy, I assume it's just going to be Energy, is going to be on that Iron Man. We do see it making its way in. And we have Smurfix playing the Psylocke. And on the right-hand side, in the red trunks of Ben and T'Challa, it is Tezeta with Mr. Micro on the Magneto. JBDTX on the Doctor Strange. Crying XD is going to be on the Black Panther. Mutilated is on the Mantis. Flute, an adorable name, is going to be on the Wolverine. And Fruit, a healthy name, is going to be on the Cloak and Dagger. Starting off with the healing on the backline. Finds the flanking of the Psylocke, getting dropped a little bit low, steps into their own healing aura, but are getting chased down by that Hulk, trying to keep their Magneto upright, and finally going to get taken down. Mr. Micro finished off by Zerfix. The Unibeam from Energy, trying to push him back, drives them down with the help of Charisma, and we're going to see In and Out taking control of the point as Tezeta will be forced back into their spawn. Spray for style points as Energy going to be backing away. Poking down range. Trying to damage anyone before they get too close to the point. Definitely going to be padding the numbers of the healers of Tezeta. I expect to see those numbers go quite high. Maximum points for Pulse Cannon, blocked by the Magneto with Scatter. Ball back Charisma, who was caught out in that first fight. Jiminy taking out Zerfix and Scatter. Sia to try and push on through the remaining members of Tezeta. Flute onto the Iron Man. Iron Magamoto with the final stand, though, for the turnaround. Trying to bring it in. Michael Bowling takes out two. It's a 2-for-2 currently as Flute takes out Charisma. Energy back it out. Flute unable to find the right target. Michael Bowling transforming into the Hulk smash, trying to chase back that front line. Map heal coming in. Meteor Ember. Mr. Micro taken out by Energy. Zerfix also doing great damage, trying to focus onto Flute, who barely stays upright, drops down into that banner mode. But if they can kill off that Wolverine, then they may get out of there alive. But no, Michael Bowling is getting eliminated, but as is Flute, making it the 1-for-1. And Zerfix finishing off crying on the other side. Not able to get the map heal, but will drop that dance of the butterfly to try and melt through the front line, and that sets up for Energy to take out JBDTX. And once again, even while all this fighting is happening, the point is still ticking up. 96, 97 with Tezeta nowhere near. That is going to be round number 1. Going over to In and Out in this best of 5 series on our first map. Warrior Falls is next. In and Out in a position to take the early lead in this series. Are we going to see any swap arounds in terms of picks here? Mr. Micro moving off of that Magneto. Going to be bringing out the Punisher. Something to try and focus down onto that Iron Man. And Flute will be moving off the Wolverine and is hovering onto that Penny Parker. We do also see a mix-up for In and Out. Excuse me? Energy? I don't think I can say the words I want to say, but it starts with Da and ends in Q. D-A-F vowel Q would in fact be my question, with a question mark and an exclamation point at the end there. But hey, they swap over to the Black Panther, and Michael Bolin has brought out the Venom, frenzied arrival. Putting on quite a bit of pressure, takes out that Biotic Spider Nest. As In and Out, playing very aggressive at the start here. Charisma on that Magneto, trying to keep the team up. Crying. Fast descent, but taken out. Unable to find the elimination here. Fruit, Eternal Bond into the backline, trying to get the team to set up, and it's going to force out Scanner to use that Seer. Mutilated, also dropping the Soul Rejuvenation through the Eternal Bond of Fruit to give them that double sustain there. Layering them a little bit could be a mistake, but they're still going to give it a go. Flute has made their way onto the point with that Spider Sweep to try and give themselves that extra protection, but down goes Fruit with Michael Bolin diving onto the backline, trying to take out the Penny, picks up the map heal. Onto Mutilated, into the 1v1. There's quite a few Arachnomines on the point here. Not going to use that symbiotic resistance here, just going to be getting out of there, holding onto that cooldown. Making their way back in. Trying to break through that front line. Frenzied arrival. Gonna be dropped here. Eats quite a few of those Arachnomines. Goes from a feast from the abyss. Ayamoto coming down, and Michael Bolin is getting stun locked here. But Zervix with the Dance and the Butterfly picks up the double onto Mr. Micro, and Fruit will be forced to back away with that Psychic Stealth. Going for the 1v1 against Crying. Shuriken dash, but Crying finds him with the spear. Mutilated, trying to hold down the front line for the moment. Nice sleep onto Michael Bolin, keeping the team healed up. Healing, Crying as Charisma with the Meteor and shields up. Tries to go onto Mutilated with the wraparound, stunned out with the Cyberweb Snare. Charisma trying to hold the line right now. Metallic Bulwark to give them that extra bit of tankiness as Mr. Micro sets up the culling turret. But they can't utilize it the way they want to because they're just being pressured. Final Judgment to try and break the front line, but already dropped down and finished off quickly. Seer Beacon is dropped. Charisma sniping Mr. Micro there. Jamie D is able to pick up an elimination onto Kian. Scanner keeping the team topped up here. Focusing on healing. Minimal DPS coming out from this rocket. Michael Bolin still holding the front line, staying upright. So low on this side, but the healing output is good here. Symbiotic resistance on cooldown, but they get out once again. Bastis sent, this time In and Out are getting completely zoned off the point there. Crying unable to find elimination. It's currently 89 in favor of Tezeta as Fruit and Mutilated are taken down. Zervix with a dozen butterflies to the back line is able to get a solid damage output. Kian and Charisma are dropping low, but they're getting sustained up nice and quickly with the help of Scanner, and Michael Bolin holds onto their ultimate as they claim the point on 99%. In and Out, despite getting way more eliminations this round as well, we're still seeing In and Out able to take back control, but Tezeta, they just need to take this one more time. They see everyone. Do they go for this aggressive portal? The answer is yes! Directly behind their opponents on the high ground. The Seer is dropped right away. Aya Magamoto will start out Charisma as they take out Strange. Michael Molin took down Fruit and Mutilated, which means all the strategists are gone from Tezeta, leaving just Jamie DTX and Mr. Micro. And with them getting taken out, in and out, drive back this Portal Assault. Mr. Micro returned to spawn. Unable to group up with the rest of their team here. In and out, zoning them away beautifully here.
You captured more than half of the mission area.
It's game number 1. Tezeta looking to even it up to make it a 1-1. Doesn't a butterfly shut down completely? Fast descent from Energy. Making their way out. Onto the objective, and we're seeing Tezeta trying to backdoor, trying to get onto it to go for the wraparound play. Big damage output to try and take out Mutilated, who's dropped low and will be finished off, but Energy returns to the BRB. Kian, barely upright. Energy did still get finished off, not going to be brought back here. Scatter continuing to keep the team up as best they can. Eternal Bond coming in. Zermfiex with a dance of the butterfly trying to get onto the back line to finish them off, setting themselves up for the map heal so they can keep this fight going. But Flute has the defensive position set up. Webs are down underfoot, and there's a couple mines getting dropped here as well. Portal coming out to bring Charisma back to the point. Down goes the Bionic Spider Nest. And into the backline, Michael Bolling with the face from the abyss. And the Seer Beacon tagging through. Gets Aya Magamoto, though. This could be the chance for the turnaround if Crying can just find any eliminations. But no, driven off the point. Mutilated nowhere near. Fruit nowhere near. And in and out, claim game number 1. While that second round was a little bit close, it did still feel like a very solid performance by In and Out, even when their opponents had the point. They still felt like they were just farming those eliminations. And you can see that in the statistics. Flute and Jamie DTX able to get some good value with 7 and 8 final hits, 13 and 14 eliminations. But look at this Charisma with 7, Michael Bolling with 14, Energy with 12, Zermfiex with 10. It was a powerful performance. 16k damage will be the top here. Jamie DTX potentially we might start to see a little bit of a move to potentially get rid of that Doctor Strange. We'll have to see as we head into game number 2. But 17k damage for Energy. A lot of that was going to be cut from the Iron Man, but still putting on a huge performance there. Michael Bolling only getting taken out 1 time. Tanking incredibly for their team. 22k damage, the damage blocked, the second most in the game, while getting eliminated the least in the game out of everyone. That is efficiency. Finding eliminations, blocking damage. Very nicely done. Very nicely done indeed. In and out. Taking the lead here with the top healing. Gonna be done by Kian. 22k healing. 2k more than Scatter. Scatter, classic Rocket gameplay. 55 healing at the end of that game. 0 final hit. Sorry, 55 damage at the end of that game. 0 final hits. 0 eliminations. Only eliminated twice. 27 assists, though. Contributing in their own special Rocket way. All right. We're going to get ourselves set up for map number 2, ladies and gentlemen. But if you are enjoying these casts, then please consider dropping a like or a subscription. Ringing that bell will let you know when these casts go live. So you'll be able to see them that way. You can also leave a comment to say what bits you enjoyed. Say who your favorite players are. Say what you're excited for as we approach season number 1 very quickly. Leave some requests, excuse me, for me to cast your team. I can do that. If you're in the Marvel Rivals Championship, just leave leave a request. Let me know. Let me know what region you're in and what your team name is. And in the open qualifiers, I'll just try and get through as many viewer teams as possible. I have that power. I can just search team names and find them. So let me know, and I will try and find you. You can also support by becoming a member, getting these videos 24 hours early and supporting me directly. And finally, if you're enjoying it very much, then you can watch back through all of the old games. They are set up as playlists. And you can support me directly by dropping a super thanks to send a one-time donation if you want to, keep your ad blocker on and also don't want to pay the monthly set that you get with memberships. Also, check out my socials there in the description. All right, let's get ourselves set up for map number 2.
I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders, now we ain't out here moving rocks. We out here moving boulders, now we ain't getting posterized. We out here making posters and we ain't got nothing to hide. We move forward like soldiers, you better wake up for the pay stub or you'll pay up. Don't make love to the game, bruh, fuck the game up. Change up, rearrange stuff to your greatness. Famous for the way up, play the game, bruh. Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah. You know I'm always honest. There ain't no way I'm ever stopping. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top. I'm always flirting with pain. She like to hurt me and maim. I'm always working to change, but she's still lurking the same. I keep on building a dynasty while the haters be trying me, but they hate from inside. You see, hate themselves in society, so I let them speak quietly while my actions speak wider. See, they be hiding in privacy.
And we are back with map number 2. We are heading to Yggdrasil Path. In and Out will be starting on defense, and Tezeta will be going for attack. In and Out currently sitting at 1-0. And we're going to see the Hela banned away by Tezeta, meaning that In and Out, if they want to, could protect that Iron Man and bring it out a second time. They protect the Venom. Michael Bolling, after that insane performance, deserves that protection. And we already mentioned JBDTX. Performing the best out of anyone on Tezeta will deserve that protection with that Doctor Strange. And there goes the Bruce Banner banned away. That is going to slightly nerf the Iron Man composition, meaning we're less likely to see it.
Could make all the difference.
So, what are we going to see? We see Loki flute back onto that Penny Parker on attack. We have seen it a little bit with the NA players. Charisma. Looking at the Groot here. And with that Rocket Raccoon. Some pretty solid value there. Alright. We are heading in and out. So far, just showing Loki. Let's watch as they begin their rollout. See who we got locked in. Scatter. Making their way to the doors. Zermfiex on the Psylocke energy. Bringing out Wolverine. Michael Bolling, as we predicted. Bringing out the Venom. Alright, that is a very sustaining composition. Zermfiex, definitely the weakest person here in terms of being able to stay alive. They do have that invisibility and hypermobility to get away from danger. Flute moving off of the Penny here, bringing out the Venom of their own. Let's see what they can do with this. Crying back on that Black Panther. Mr. Micro moving over to support here. Bringing out the Loki. They're going for the triple strategist. Melee only damage here. Loki damage output is not half bad here, so there is some value to be gained. Energy looking for someone to isolate. JBDX is the target, but not finding it. Forced to back away. Scatter getting focused down by the Venom, so jumps onto the Groot. If you're getting slowed, if you're being focused down, then you might as well jump on top of that tank. If you can't move, they can't either. You might as well get that little bit of extra protection. Gonna go on for the ride. Vision reduced. Sharing the healing as best they can. Piling on the pressure as Fruit will fall. They're pushing through. Trying to get that healing onto their Psylocke, onto ZermVX. Crying. Trying to dive the backline here. Setting themselves up for a little bit of hyper-aggression. But can't seem to stay deep enough to land those final hits. Kian dropped very low here. Will use the Eternal Bond to make sure that they can sustain through the fight here as Flute is deep in the backline. Symbiotic resistance not yet available. Dropped low, but they are healed up beautifully. The ability to now dive into the backline. Michael Bolling also has their own feast from the Abyss, trying to get onto Mr. Micro, but they have swapped onto a different Loki. Mutilated with the Soul Rejuvenation. ZermVX with the Dance of the Butterfly, not able to find it in the backlines thanks to the protection. Energy taken out by Fruit, and Flute with the feast from the Abyss, dropping Groot and Rocket low, trying to take out the dynamic duo with an Eye of Agamotto, and Tezeta are absolutely crushing through in and out here. Finally finding some momentum of their own. Michael Bolin, the only survivor here, able to get away, retreat to their team to get some of that healing. But Tezeta cruising in towards point number 1. In and out. Set up nicely for point number 2, but they're still going to try and hold it as Michael Bolin dived onto the point. We've got 1 minute and 20 seconds left to get 2.5 meters. Past descent, straggling Prison, almost ready for Charisma. Eternal Bond from Kian to keep the team pushing forward as Michael Bolin has dropped low. ZermVX dropped incredibly low, taken out but will revive at the BRB. Coming in from the side, Mutilated, taken down, and they're diving up onto the front line, pushing on through. Charisma has a great zoning set up here onto the point. Another Eternal Judgment comes out. Great Eye of Agamotto from JBDX to potentially turn this round in their favor. Fruit maximizing the healing output to allow them to push on through. Scanners see not enough. Michael Bolin still here, could still touch the point if they chose to, and they do. They get slept, focus down, swing off, and that is going to allow point number 1 to be taken by Tezeta. Map heal to get out of their. Fruit chasing them down, utilizing those bouncing daggers to chase Bolin off the point here. And Bolin forced to back away far. And again, taking damage, preventing the heal. Another map heal popped up. Straggling Prison from Charisma, from above to try and set up, but there's no follow-up from the team here. ZermVX does have this Dance of the Butterfly and will drop it directly into the back line. Charisma gets the double, ZermVX makes it a triple, and Michael Bolin secures the quadruple, quintuple. But Fruit will get away, preventing the Hexa. No ace for in and out, but they do put another stop to Tezeta. With 2 minutes to go, Energy takes out Crying, but goes down with them. Copy coming in from Mr. Micro. Going to be going for that Soul Rejuvenation from the Mantis. Actually able to take out Charisma as well with their heavy Mantis damage. This is some erratic movement, but it's working. They've got the accuracy. Regeneration Domain to keep the team up. Utilizing it for damage output. Going to begin to push on through. Try and get onto Michael Bolin. Fast descent from the side of Crying to try and dive onto the backline as Flute. Feast from the Abyss. They're trying to chase down Charisma, but the group walls will prevent them from finishing the blows. Kian, though, will not be so lucky. Energy, final assault, final stand into the backline. Not able to get in there. Scatter dropped incredibly low, barely able to get out as well. Charisma, once again, has a straggling Prison, but is about to get closed in on, surrounded from both sides. Straggling Prison onto the point, but that is going to be a Regeneration Domain, shutting them down, and Charisma will go down, revived at the BRB. Michael Bolin into the backline, Frenzy, the Soul Dance of the Butterfly will take out Mr. Micro, but Charisma and Kian are already down. 2 for 2 currently. In and out, trying to keep the team up. trying to push on, but they need to touch the cart if they want to hold this. Frenzied Arrival, trying to pressure. Feast from the Abyss, can't find the backliners as they're able to get out of there a little too easy. Crying, taken down by Zerfiex. And Tezeta, down a member, will back up. Regeneration Domain going in again, but they don't have everyone. They're just going to try and commit. Numbers down while the reinforcements arrive. Pushing on with that Soul Rejuvenation from Mr. Micro as the Mantis drops low, but keeping the team topped up. Energy dropped so low. Chased down, finished off, but back at the BRB to rejoin the team from behind. Into the back line to try and burst through this triple strategist. Spear comes out, Blast Descent gets the double, triple for Energy. Zerfiex goes down, quadruple. Can they get the quintuple? Looking to finish off Crying. Who's all that's left? Flute is down. There is Crying. Chased down, finished off by Charisma. Overtime will tick down, and in and out. Hold on point number 2. 1.81 meters, 23 centimeters.
Including which side you're on.
A solid performance so far.
You'll need a top-notch team to win this one.
Do we see any compositional switch-ups? Yes, we did predict that Flute may be going with that Penny Parker from earlier. Mr. Micro looking at the Hawkeye. This might be one of the earliest times in the North American tournaments that we see them moving in to this triple strategist meta, which, with the leaked nerfs, if the leaked nerfs are real, will we be seeing that triple strategist meta being locked in, or will we see them, the teams start to shift off onto something else? We will have to see. Mutilated.
30 seconds.
Bringing out a Jeff for us. Interesting. Jeff with no Lunar Snow, so does not get the slow bonus from it. Jeff is a very good flank hero, pretty tanky, quite hard to take out sometimes. Healing output's not bad. It's usually just if you want to do a lot of the things that I just mentioned, you would pick someone else. Jeff does all of them, but not as well as some other characters. Michael Bolin, very aggressive. Frenzied Arrival immediately onto the Hawkeye. Dropped low, symbiotic resistance, and forced to swing out. We'll be able to get out. Energy suffering a similar problem. Going in for the backline. Spear comes out, barely able to get out. Lots of damage coming down, but Tezeta are currently able to tank through it here. But Spider Nest was taken out, meaning we're losing a little bit of sustain for Flute. No webs under their feet. Not going to be able to land that snare. Down goes the Demonic Spider Nest. Charisma already diving in, but takes out Flute, which removes the nest. Michael Bolin zoning them in the choke point, forcing them back. Charisma with the chase. And Energy and Zerfiex will finish off Tezeta, and in and out, cruise on through to point number 1. The cart barely even stopped moving there.
Keep up the momentum.
Scatter sniped by Mr. Micro. Mutilated, keeping the team topped up. Moving in, sniped by Energy, who dived on in. Didn't even use the ultimate for that. Just got the full 100-0. In the backline, spin kick. Snipes Fruit, looks for Mr. Micro goes down. Mutilated, also removed. Bolin got the final hit. Map heal picked up, but Jeff has laid a trap. They try to finish Energy, who is dropped so low, but still in the fight. Chasing in to a Penny is always dangerous, but everyone is here. They've got the resistance, and Penny retreating into the team so they can keep mobile. Energy with Fast Descent gets another double on Mr. Micro and Fruit. Portal going to be coming out from JBD. If they can finish them off though before the portal, whoops! Dashing through the portal, coming out, Zerfiex, Dance of the Butterfly. Aya Magamoto will shut them down. Great counter. Charisma shutting down the engage of JBD, and we are seeing that finish line approaching as members of Tezeta fall one by one. Feast from the abyss to blast on through. Mr. Micro trying to take out the attackers with solid damage on the Hunter's site. Trying to get onto Energy, who is untouched right now. Energy with yet another pickup. Mutilated, went for the hits, Jeff. But unable to find enough, just desperately trying to heal up their team, which they are sustaining beautifully. Energy into the backline, once again takes out Jeff. Scatter will fall 1 for 1, but Cry goes down. Charisma with the triple. And that is going to be map number 2, going over to win it out. In and out. Extend their lead, setting themselves up 2-0 in this best out of 5. One more win, and they'll be moving on to that upper bracket semi-final. Tezeta struggling off the bat here, but they're showing moments. They've shown they've got what it takes. But it's about the execution here. And so far, we're not seeing it. They're not able, they're sustaining for so long. But what do they have to deal with the Black Panther of Energy? What did they have to deal with the Iron Man earlier? It just feels like the control and the pace is being set by In and Out here. But there is still at minimum 1 map remaining. Can we see a return to form and the beginning of the reverse sweep for Tezeta? Or will In and Out be able to close this out and move on in that upper bracket? Find out after this break. But first, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Do those things. Thank you all for watching. See you in a moment.
Positivity. I feel like we all just hate on everything, it's killing me. Thoughts build quick, causing different possibilities. Negative thoughts will cause different disabilities. So do better, work hard under pressure. If you got no time, work smarter than ever. Don't ever let them tell you that you can never say never. And turn your mind into the truest to go-getters. Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah. You know I'm always honest. There ain't no way I'm ever stopping. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top, yeah. Try to play, but you're never gonna.
And we are heading to Shin Shibuya for map number 3. If Tezeta can't find a way to take out In and Out, then it will be the last match as well, as In and Out currently sit at 2-0 in this best out of 5. 1 game away from moving on to the upper bracket semi-final and sending Tezeta down to the lower bracket. But Tezeta, do they have the potential to bring it back and pull off the reverse sweep? We can find out as they ban out the Venom. Michael Bolling putting off a strong performance that last game. Jeff gets secured here. Tezeta wanted to stick with this Jeff run. And Star-Lord also going to get locked in. Luna Snow taken out. As is Adam Warlock. Very sensible. With Star-Lord showing up, you don't want those extra revives that could just be being spammed in here. That Guardians team up, very, very good. Mantis, Star-Lord, and Adam Warlock. Having 3 characters that can revive in the field of battle, all with pretty reasonable stats, is quite scary to deal with. In and Out will be starting on defense. Tezeta will be on attack. And we're getting a little bit of a mix-up. No, we're not getting a bit of a mix-up here. Actually, yes, it is a mix-up here. As Energy will be sticking with that Black Panther, but Michael Bolling moving off of front line. No Venom for them, even though they know they can play Hulk. Although I think Hulk was also banned out, or it's just being ignored. But they are moving on to damage. And we'll be picking up a Psylocke here. Tezeta. They are also going heavy on the damage here. Both teams with a triple duelist lineup. Star-Lord, Wolverine, and Black Panther for Tezeta. Black Panther, Psylocke, and Star-Lord. Down goes Mr. Micro as in and out, going for a spawn fight. Taking him back to base here. Tezeta. They are close to their spawn point, though. They have quicker reinforcements. All they have to do is to start winning this fight, and then they'll be able to potentially move their way onto the point due to how close it is. Blaster Barrage to take the 1v1 as the Star-Lord, but the healing output is good. Xerphex forced to back away here. Michael Bolin dropping solid damage as Crying has tried to make their way into the backline. Getting chased down, though. Finished off. Scatter playing fairly standard for the moment, just trying to drive back the members of Tezeta. And right now, the spawn capture. Tezeta completely trapped. But they're beginning to make their way around here. Crying into the back line, does on the butterfly by Michael Bolin, takes out Flute, but Flute was able to get Charisma, but Charisma already brought back by the BRB as Michael Bolin, Energy, and Xerphex all take down a member each. And it's yet another, basically team wipe. Michael Bolin getting the triple. Being chased down by Star-Lord and Jamie D. Now on the Star-Lord with Mr. Micro on the front line. Blaster Barrage. They've finally been able to get out of base and make their way towards the objective. Galactic Legend to try and burst through. Healing output with the sustained energy. Taken down. That's the backline damage removed, but the healing output is completely shutting them down. Here comes the counter from Xerphex to try and take it. Blaster Barrage to try and take them in the 1v1. Xerphex melting through, gets a double. And that's enough to force back Tezeta, at least for the moment. Making their way in, Blaster Barrage in the center area. Not able to finish off that Cloak and Dagger. Energy returning to their team, just going to set themselves up on this high ground. Aya Magamoto onto 3, taking them out once again next to their spawn. It's a double. Last stand for Flute, but they're too low. Can't afford to get any finishing blows. As Energy chases down Mr. Micro up above. And Tezeta, Flute onto the Squirrel Girl. They have 1 minute and 10 seconds left. They have barely even touched the point. As In and Out have set up a hyper-aggressive defense here, literally keeping them in their spawn as often as they can. Dozen Butterflies is available, will be dropped into the backline, takes out Flute, takes out Fruit, and is there another route? Nothing left to be taken. Mute. If they take out Mute, that's rhymed enough. The 1v1 doesn't want to take that Mantis 1v1 with 48 HP. They will be backing out. Flute moving on to the Magneto. They're going to try and break this with the 2-2-2. Giving them the extra sustain in the back line. Lot of damage coming out from Energy, who's able to sneak away and not get caught out. But this is all distractions. 16 seconds left. Portal coming in. This could be it. Mr. Micro on the high ground. Drops through the hole in the building. The limitation has to get up to the high ground so they can make their way into the point. JBD with the Galactic Legend. They need to get someone on the point because there's only 2 seconds left. They touch it. They didn't touch it in time. I think Fruit may have gone for the stealth and dropped them from sight. That is going to be the first half at 0%, meaning In and Out. They need 1/3 of a capture And this quarterfinal is all over. With Jeff being protected, do they choose to bring Jeff to the defense? They're bringing back the penny. Mr. Micro sticking on the strange. JBD on that Star-Lord. Mutilated keeping it simple with that Mantis crying. Has been pretty consistent with this Black Panther. In and out. They're the ones mixing it up this time. Scatter is going to be sticking with this Rocket Raccoon, but Michael Bollin currently going for that team up with the Punisher. Kian brings out the Loki.
30 seconds before
Zermfiex
Get ready.
on a Moon Knight. Energy yet to show us their pick, but it looks like it might be the return of Iron Man. Flute going for the aggressive setup here.
This is gonna hurt.
Mines stacked, but not cloaked.
The battle's
Risky here. Michael Bollin
4,
moves on to the Hulk.
2, 1.
How much attention do they pay? They just go around the side, completely ignoring the mines. Portal for charisma. Onto the point with the Unbreakable Guard from the Hulk. 2 members on the point for Tezeta. 1 down, 2 down. The percentage is charging. 3 down. Energy taking everyone out. And it's over.
Final score 1, 2, 0.
The portal directly onto the point, smashing the members that were touching. And they take that in less than 19 seconds. That was fast. Michael Bollin gets the MVP there. 8k damage. Only getting eliminated once. Kian, by the way, not getting eliminated at all. Great job there. Putting on quite the show. Michael Bollin with 7 final hits, 14 eliminations. Energy. Less damage, but getting more final hits there at the end. Doing a great job. Zermfiex brought the Storm to that push so that they could just push on through with as much aggression as possible. Hyper dive potential. Top healing goes over to Kian. Got a final hit. Got 8 eliminations. Didn't get eliminated at all. Didn't do a huge amount of damage. The damage numbers in this game are quite low anyway. Kept up with Flute. Almost kept up with Crying. And still did the most damage in the game on this Loki. Very nicely done. But wow, that was solid. And in and out will be moving on in the upper bracket to the semi-finals, where they will play against Deaky Suaves. Meanwhile, it is not the end for Tezeta. They have another chance. They'll be moving down to the lower bracket, round 11, where we will be seeing them play against Frenzy Flame, who took out U6 in a 3-1 in the games we cast earlier. So, we'll be doing the lower bracket round 11 next, and then the lower bracket round 12, followed by the upper bracket semi-finals, the lower bracket quarterfinals, the lower bracket semi-finals, upper bracket final, lower bracket final, grand final. That's the order we will be casting. So, as of tomorrow, we'll be starting those lower bracket round 11 games, as we did have a forfeit for our last quarterfinal, so we only get 3 of those upper bracket quarterfinals. For now, though, I have been Tetcher. A little bit of a quick game today, but I still had a good time. I hope you did too. Thank you all very much for watching. Make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you can see when the next one comes out. And if you become a member, then you can watch the next game already, assuming something hasn't gone terribly wrong and I wasn't able to record more. But thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all tomorrow.